Blastoise.
So one thing that I could never do when I worked was, like, in the middle of the day, come out in DC and play Pokemon. No, I'm just kidding. I never got to be able to, like, take photos in the middle of the day, and luckily Daryl's in school, but he's really on summer break.
Summer break.
How much more dental school do you have?
2 more years.
2 more years. And only a couple $100,000 in debt, right?
Only a couple.
Only a couple. But we're basically coming to the cool steps in this grass. I want to take some pictures of a bunch of stuff. Daryl's here for moral support and to catch all the Magikarps that hopefully are by the water. The hardest part about taking photos is we have no idea how to actually take photos. So it's a lot of like adjusting, checking, potatoing out. It's also very hot. We're gonna go hang out with Abraham Lincoln over there because that wall has what we call in the photography biz, we call those textures. Whatever that means. All right, all finished up. It is way too hot, literally drenching in sweat. You know, there's a lot of like bees over here pollinating. I haven't gotten stung by a bee since I was a little kid. I'm pretty sure you only get stung by bees as a child. When was the last time you got stung by a bee?
Last year.
I used to get stung by bees all the damn time.
You don't go outside.
It was like they were after me.
You don't go outside now.
Ugh, Mayor B, Mayor B. All right, so picked up some stuff in the P.O. box, which is usually returns, but Maxx actually hit me up on Twitter a while back, and I thought it was like a virus or something, but then I checked and it's like verified. And I think they sent me tickets to Suicide Squad, even though I've already seen it, but it's a big ass thing for some tickets. I don't know. Okay, we got a poster. Looks like some candy. You see that? So fancy, right? What's this? It's like a box. It's a puzzle. Okay. It's a puzzle. And this is a scratch and scent on the. Is there actually any tickets in here? Oh wait. There's no. They just sent me a poster? I thought they said like. I thought. Hold on. So okay, so Maxx sent me a poster and a piece of paper and a puzzle. Thanks.
Yeah, Husky is a minister.
Alright guys, what is going on? So we are in beautiful Georgetown. We came to do a little shopping, maybe a little Pokemon hunting, whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna make this Q&A. What are you getting so far away, man? You gotta get closer to the mic, man. Not that close, dude. So I wanna make this Q&A focused around like moving out, living by yourself, being alone, because that is what I am. So in no particular order, I should probably go in order of like moving out to like now, but we're not gonna do that. First question up is from Anders Lund. Would you, if you had a girlfriend, live with her? Now this is something that I have always had a very firm thought on. I think realistically, I have friends, we have friends that have probably moved in with their girlfriends within like 6 months of dating. Hell no. I used to get in like arguments with my girlfriends because I date them for a year and I still wouldn't have any plan on moving in. So I would say probably about like, I would say 2 years minimum. 2 years minimum dating before I'd even consider moving in. Daryl, what do you think?
Yeah, what Maxx said.
All right. The biggest reason is because in the first year, you barely even know that person. And if you sign a lease with a person, you're stuck there for like a year. And what if they turn out to be loco? Loco. Got the boat? Glad we drove the yacht today to do this. Juan Rodriguez Flores says, did you ever have to balance full-time school with full-time work? So when I first went to college, which was 2008, forever ago, or that was when I graduated high school, I worked at a pharmacy and it was just a part-time thing. And when I first started school, I told my mom, I was like, you know what, I don't want to work at all. I just want to live college experience. And I did not work. I think my first like 6 or 7 months, I left my job at this pharmacy. But then I think after about 7 months, I went back. And my entire college career, I worked besides those first 6 or 7 months, so I could get, you know, used to college, right? I worked about 15 to 20 hours a week. So I would work like 5-hour shifts from 2:30 to 7:30, and on the weekends I'd work like 8 in the morning until like 4:30 at night. So I just adjusted my school schedule to work with my work because I did have bills to pay. I did have things I wanted to do. I wanted to pay, you know, people older than me to buy me booze, you know what I'm saying? So did I work during school? Yes. And then my senior year I left the pharmacy. I worked there for like 7 years. It was crazy. Kids worked there until they're like 17 or 18. I worked there until I was 22. I made like, I started at about $7.25 an hour, and then at the end of my career I was making $10 an hour, so not making a ton of money. But yeah, I worked my entire time, then I got an internship with Scottrade, and then when I graduated college I got my full-time jobby. We are at the waterfront and we are catching so many Magikarp.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Shooting Magikarps in a barrel. All right, Ian Monteroso says, how do you deal with shitty roommates? For example, takes your food without asking, smoking weed inside, and disrespecting your guest. SWAT came in my house, disrespect my whole family. It's a Fast and Furious quote, Daryl. I have had my share of poor roommates. I've had good roommates, I've had bad roommates. You need to understand, no matter how like awesome your friend is, chances are like there's gonna be some sort of like qualm with you living with each other. I don't think I've ever had a roommate where like I've enjoyed every single thing that they've done, and I probably don't do every single thing, or everything that I do they probably don't like. It just comes with the territory. That's you know, you're picking your poison. If you want to save money and live with roommates, then you're going to deal with crappy roommates. As far as taking food, there's only so much you can do. I mean, I have roommates that will like lie to my face and just like eat all my stuff, right? But it just is what it is. I've dealt with like, you know, not neat roommates and just dirty ones, and just makes the house crappy and have like parties and stuff. The biggest thing I would say is like talk to them, try to establish ground rules before you move into a location. But even then, sometimes everyone's just gonna be a bunch of idiots, and that's just the college life. Like pretty much from like freshman year to senior year, if you live with roommates, just expect that you're not gonna live like a pristine, super clean house, perfect life. You're gonna live the ratchet college life. Would you say, Daryl?
Agreed.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna answer a really generic question that I get asked a lot, and that is, how did I pay for rent and everything in college? Because I did not live in a dorm. I went to community college the first 2.5 years of college, and I lived in a house with all of my friends who went to VCU, the college I went to. So for my first like 7 or 8 months, my mom paid my rent. It was $350. We lived in a house with 3 bedrooms. We had 5 people living in that house, so it was pretty ridiculous. It was only $350 a month. So for the first 7 or 8 months, my mom paid for it, and then when I got my job back, I started paying rent for basically the next year. We extended the lease for another year, but I only lived there for about half of that. So I paid $350 a month because I work. I'm extremely cheap. I'm the cheapest out of all my friends. People make fun of me for it. But then halfway through the second year in the lease, we moved to a condo downtown on the river that me and my friend Pat, his parents, owned. So for the next year, I paid no rent. I was lucky enough to live in a place rent-free for an entire year. And then after that, I moved into the trap house, which if you guys followed my channel a long time ago, that is where I lived for like 2.5, 3 years, and rent there was only like $340 plus utilities, so it was like $450 a month. And now, for me being really, really cheap and me working like 25-ish hours a week, I was able to pay my bills because it was only around $500. So how did I pay my bills? I lived with a bunch of roommates. I had roommates in my house, so like I shared a room in a house with other roommates. I was really cheap, I worked, and you live in ghetto houses. Bill Wiley asks, roommates versus living solo. So I've lived with, I've lived with like 4 other people. I've lived with 1 other person. I've lived with 2 other people. So I've lived in like every little situation possible. I've even shared rooms, and I can honestly say that I will never go back to having roommates if I don't have to. Obviously it's a very good financial situation for a lot of people, but living on your own is great because it's all mine. I don't have to like share space with anyone. I don't have to I just really, really enjoy it. I lived by myself after living with roommates for a long time, and then I moved in with my brother, and now that I'm back on my own, I can honestly say that I probably will never go back to having roommates unless I really needed to.
And also, a roommate?
Okay, Daryl and like my brother are probably the only people I would ever actually roommate with, because now that I've had a bunch of roommates, I know what crappy roommates are, and I know what like I hate. And I don't know.
You hate me? Oh.
No, I don't
So
hate
nice.
Daryl. But yeah, we're solo dolo like a cholo from here on out. All right, next question is, do I ever get lonely? Because I live alone, right? I hang out by myself a lot. And now keep in mind that there's a big difference between being lonely and being alone. And just because you are alone does not mean that you are lonely. So do I ever get lonely? Honestly, no. I never like sit in my apartment. I get bored sometimes, but I never like, I don't know. I never like, I'm like, man, I wish I had like someone here for affection. Like I wish I had someone to like, I don't know. You ever get lonely?
No.
Yeah.
We don't have time to get lonely.
Yeah, I'm busy a lot. And whenever I start to get lonely, I play Overwatch on Twitch. But if you are someone who does get lonely, then probably living by yourself is probably not the best, because I have known a lot of people who have like got apartments by themselves and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sad all the time. Not me, ever. Adon Pedroso says, I'm a college student right now. My question is, how do you balance your income while spending at the bars, clothes, needs, wants? How did you manage? What are some tips? There are no tips. You're gonna blow all your money in college, probably on candy, stupid stuff, getting into frat parties. I never paid money to get into frat parties. Isn't that a thing though?
I was in a fraternity, yeah.
Well, it is a thing. Sometimes you have to pay money. Budget the best you can. Again, I'm a very cheap individual, but just my biggest thing is have fun in college, be safe in college, and just experience it. Because there was another question that said, like, do I have any regrets or any like things that I wish I did in college that I didn't? And I really, really enjoyed my college experience. I hung out with some of my best friends for 5 years, actually. The only thing I wish that I did was do more. Like, I wish I did more things. I kind of wish I did more social activities. I really didn't, like, do a lot of, like, the club thing, like, go to club activities, go into, like, the social rooms or, like, buildings. I didn't do all those things. I just hung out with the people that I knew, and I didn't really care about making any new friends. I was like, no new friends. I just care about my bros that live in my house. That's all I care about. Just went on an evolving spree. Let's see how many experience points I got. How many do you think I got, Daryl? Guess, quick.
30,000.
52,000 experience. Are you mad?
A little bit.
Here's my current stack, guys. Right there. Looking pretty good. Pretty good. My Pokédex. 94 caught, 96 seen. What a time to be alive. So one of the last questions that I'll talk about the college thing is people ask me like how do I check my macros and how did I like eat the right foods in college. Okay, I'm gonna put a picture on the screen of what I moved downtown my first year of college with. My mom got this for me, right? She was really supportive of my good health. So I ate nothing but ramen and candy and soda for pretty much all of my college, but especially the first like 2 years. So I did not follow any sort of bro diet. I didn't even start lifting my freshman year, so I didn't start lifting until my sophomore year. But yeah, my biggest piece of advice, guys, is don't overstress college. Have fun, enjoy the time that you have there, enjoy the people that you spend it with, be smart, be safe, get your education, get that piece of paper if you're gonna do that. Yes, I had student loans. Yes, I had to pay them back. It sucked, but that's part of life, unfortunately, for some people. And as far as moving out, if you can financially do it, then I would suggest it, but obviously, know your financial situation. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm telling you how I lived mine, and my opinion on it. So be smart. You're a bunch of grown-ups. Maybe. Sorta. Probably not.